Non-Stop Rock Talk with Tyson Bryden. Welcome to Non-Stop Rock Talk. I'm your host, Tyson Bryden. Today, I'm very happy to welcome guitarist, singer, and songwriter, JT Loux. JT, how's it going, man?
It's going great, man. Thank you so much for having me on.
My pleasure, and thank you for coming on. Before we get into music, give me a little bit about your background. I understand you're 20 years old, and I believe you've been playing for a number of years.
Yeah, I've been playing since I was about 11 years old, and I got into guitar through my cousin who really, he had been playing in my aunt's room a lot, and I just thought he was so cool, and he told me that it was the best way to get girls. And so
It's true.
when I was 11 years old, that's all I wanted, and so I started playing guitar, and then it turned into something totally different. It changed my life forever, and I met so many great people, and I'd only been a guitar player for most of my career, and then recently when I was 19, I had started a journey of singing and playing at the same time, which was a totally different ballgame.
And now you front your own band. That's amazing. Yeah. Good for you, man. What's that, sorry?
It's been a long journey, definitely.
That's awesome. Good for you. So, I mean, in terms of that, at 19 years old, you decide to start singing. Who kind of pushed you into the singing part?
Definitely, I would say our producer, Frank Hannon. He's the guitarist of Tesla, and he really mentored me in the beginning with my guitar playing. But I had a previous band that I was recording in the studio with Frank, and me and him would trade. I would go out and work on his ranch for studio time, and I would do all these outside chores, because I didn't have any money. I mean, I still don't have any money, but back 2.5 years ago when I turned 18, he offered me a job on his ranch to start, doing that, and we ended up trading studio time for it with my previous band. And when that fell through, I didn't have a singer, I didn't have anything, and I felt like I lost everything. And he told me, he said, you need to start singing, and I didn't see myself as a singer because I looked up to bands of the 80s and the 70s, and all those singers sang really, really high,
Yeah.
And me, I have a really low voice, and I didn't think that it was going to work as a singer, but he told me to start with something easy, start with Hendrix. And, he said, I can hear in your voice, you sound like Jim Morrison a little bit. So he started to encourage me to start trying different avenues of things that were in my wheelhouse. And it really helped my confidence. And then from there, in the last 1.5 years, I've just been building my range and getting it bigger and bigger and just practicing every day.
That's cool. And speaking of that Jim Morrison thing, have you ever heard, you probably have never heard of a band called The Tea Party. They're a band from Canada. They're from up here in Canada. I'm in Canada. I'm in Toronto, close to Toronto. So The Tea Party's like this band. So when they came out, I think they were probably young like you. This is probably going back mid-90s. And the singer, great guitar player, but he's also the singer. And he sounds very much like Jim Morrison. So if you ever get a chance, check them out, because their first albums were really awesome.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, check them out, and you'll kind of maybe you might pick something up out off of them. Like, if Frank's comparing you to Jim Morrison, this guy was kind of like, when he came out, everybody's like, man, he's like the resurrection of Jim Morrison. So,
oh wow. Cool.
Yeah, so they were a cool band. They kind of changed over the years. I think they're still going. But that first album it was really hyped up here in Canada. So if you get a chance, check it out.
One of the things I love about Jim Morrison and the Doors is the lyrical content, and I think that was something that I took away from them even more than the stylistic of the voice.
Yeah. Was
telling a story and really being very mindful of the lyrics and having them really mean something.
That's cool. So getting back to Frank, did he kind of find you then as a guitar player?
Yeah, so it was weird because my parents would take me to Tesla shows when I was growing up. I got this right here. This is a poster that Frank signed of mine. He signed this for me when I was 14 years old.
Wow.
so I was a big fan of Tesla and Frank's solo work, and my dad would take me to the shows and stuff, and I started posting videos online of me playing, and I was really influenced by like David Gilmour and a lot of these like slower melodic players, B.B. King, Buddy Guy.
Yeah.
And he said I stuck out to him because I wasn't trying to shred. I wasn't trying to go as fast as possible.
Yeah.
Because, I was never a fast player. I was never a shredder anyway. So I was just trying to do what naturally came to me. And he said that stuck out to him because I was melodic and I sounded great as a 15, 16-year-old kid. And like I said, that kind of evolved. And then when I turned 18, he had contacted me, and I started working on his ranch, and then he started helping me with my previous band, and it just kind of went up from there. And when like I said, when that all fell through, he really encouraged me to start fronting my own thing, and that's where we land today.
That's awesome. I mean, Frank, going back to the Mechanical Resonance album, Modern Day Cowboy Boy, for instance, that riff that he plays, like totally stretches it out on the top part of the neck. That always amazed me. But the thing with Frank's playing too, he's melodic, and he is so good. When you think of the solo for Love Song, his solo on that is that's one of those solos you can sing. One of those guitar solos that you can sing, and then that's a good guitar solo because it's memorable, right?
Yeah, that's what he told me that's most important about solos, is being memorable,
Yeah. Yeah, and he can play fast, but I always like it when he plays something with a lot of taste, and you're like, man, he's so good.
Yeah.
So, I'm a guitar player myself, so, Frank's one of those guys that I grew up listening to. I was a kid. I was I don't know, how old was I when 1986? I was 12 years old when their first album came out. So I was kind of hooked right from the beginning, and then Great Radio Controversy came out, and I was like, oh man, this is amazing. My buddies and I wore the tape out, I have to admit.
Well, yeah, that's funny. My parents were probably around the same age, and they're actually appear in the Love Song video, and they're all just a little bit older than me. Yeah.
Cool.
So it's kind of a weird generational thing, to see Frank and in this video, and then seeing my parents, and then all of a sudden working with Frank.
Wow. Are they in the crowd?
Yeah, they're in the crowd. They had a big banner that they worked on in the garage for 2 weeks. They worked on it.
That's amazing. That is so cool, man. That is so cool. I have the video, so I'm gonna have to pull that out and watch for that part. That's really cool.
Yeah. There's a lot of banners in the video, and I'm not quite sure which one it is. I have to ask them, but I know for sure it's in there.
That's wicked. Now, so now the band is your name, right? Which is spelled, for those that are looking for the album, it's JT and then Loux, but it's spelled Loux. Just so if you go online and you're looking it up, you listen to the interview and you're like, oh, I got to check this out. So just look that up. It's Loux. But anyways, so let's talk about the other members of the band. Who's who and what do they do?
Yeah, so on drums is my good friend Zach Cook. He's 20 years old. And on bass guitar, we have Ethan Pecker, who's 22. And the funny thing about those guys is they're best friends. And they joined together. I had ran into them at this convention called NAMM down in Los Angeles in 2020. And this was right before everything closed down with COVID and everything. And I had put out this little demo on SoundCloud. And it was just guitars and vocals and some harmonies and whatnot. And, they came up to me at NAMM, and because we had known each other a little bit from the local scene here in Sacramento, because they had played around before. But, they came up to me at NAMM and they said, hey, that track sounds like it needs a rhythm section. And, so I was really blown away because they had been so busy with their previous project, but it was kind of weird. The stars aligned, everything happened because I had just left my band. They just left theirs. We were both looking to start something new. And, it kind of just went straight up from there. And when we got back, we started jamming in February late February, early March, which is kind of like crazy because everything shut down in the second week of March. And so we spent the whole, like, our band started pretty much in COVID. And so, being able to do these shows this last couple of weeks that we had been doing was just like the best thing ever, because we had never really experienced anything like that before.
Wow.
But, like I said, that it was really cool because they were best friends. And so the chemistry of the band really fit well right away. And it kind of allowed us to start songwriting process sooner than a lot of bands would, because the chemistry that they had together was so easygoing. And then when they joined the mix in with me, it was really easygoing. Just the vibe was there,
That's cool. That's very cool. So was Frank totally on board when he heard you guys play together? Was he like, oh man, okay, this is it. This is the album we're going to do, kind of thing?
Yeah, well, he had helped me, because the original idea was, when I left my previous band, was to be a solo artist, and Frank was going to help me just do that and help produce my solo stuff. And I really want, and he encouraged it too, but I really wanted to have a band as well, because I love rock and roll, and I think that, like, it's really cool that solo acoustic stuff, but I didn't know if it was going to be something that I could do forever. I just love the idea of just rocking out with guitar guys. Yeah, and be able to play guitar, and just like playing leads and stuff, so he was really on board with it right away. He actually, me and the drummer met up at Starbucks with Frank, and Frank was just like, he just let him know, what the deal was, and what we were trying to accomplish, and both those guys were on board, and then pretty much in March and April is when we started recording the album, and it just came out last week, and so we're really proud of it.
And the album is called Taken By Moonlight.
Yep.
And it's available on streaming right now. But the physical copies are currently in production, I understand.
Yes, sir. They're in production right now, and we've been selling a good amount of the copies, and we spent a lot of time on the artwork. And so, we had originally planned to just do digital streaming, because, the way everything is nowadays, my friends don't even have CD players in their car, man. So it's like,
I don't have one in my truck either.
Yeah, exactly. So they just took them out, and so. But I do think that there's a place for physical product. Like, we'd love to eventually do vinyl, but we got to see how this first batch of CDs do.
I'd love to hear you say that too, because I'm a big vinyl guy. As you can, I don't know if you can see it behind me, but all my vinyl's behind me.
Coming back for sure.
Oh yeah, it's awesome, man. I mean, and everything that comes out new now, if it's on vinyl, that's what I buy. I don't. If it's not available, I'll get it on CD. But I'm still a big proprietor of buying physical copies.
Yeah.
Because I want to hear it in the best form. Like, I don't want it compressed. I know they try and they tell you, oh, it's almost as good. Well, you know what? That's not the same. That doesn't do it for me, right? I didn't spend a lot of money on good stereo equipment so I can listen to MP3s or whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah, true. Yeah.
So, and I know Frank is big on. They're big. I mean, Tesla they're big on the vinyl thing, and which
they're really big on keeping it raw too. Their first record, they advertised
no machines,
right? No metronome, right? And what's really cool about our record is we did the same thing. We didn't use a click track. And you'll notice that the songs, they have a flow to them, and they at some points it's intentionally sped up or intentionally laid back in the groove, And that was all thanks to Frank's idea of just doing it old school, and having the ability, with our drummer, Zach Cook, he's killer on the drums, and to have somebody so talented on the drums like that can manipulate the song, in such a way that it allows us to play without a metronome was a really cool idea, because that's such a lost art, I think, today. Is a lot of people immediately go to the metronome, and that's like the bass, they don't even think about it anymore. It just opens it up, and they figure it out right away,
I just had Tommy Clufetto's Aussie drummer on last week, and he's got a wicked new album out. It's called Tommy's Rock Trip, and it's like 70s sounding, really cool. But he said the same thing. He's like, he's like, we didn't use a click. I was really surprised. I was like, oh, okay, that's cool. But that also says a lot about a drummer, that he doesn't need it. You know what I mean? And I think that's really cool.
Yeah, definitely. I think that you know, like I said, that's such a lost art today, and I think that a lot more rock bands, well, some of these underground bands have started to figure it out again, that all the great records from the 60s and 70s weren't recorded with a click, and that's why they're great, you know, because it was just like in the moment, and it was great. And it reminded me of the track number 4 on the record is called Love is a Drug. And the cool thing about that song is I had the verse, guitar part, and melody for a while, and we tried a couple different choruses and they weren't working, and we collaborated on that chorus with Frank one night, and we finally figured it out. And then the next day in the morning, we went into the studio at like 10 or 11 a.m., and we only had like an hour before this other band was going to come into the practice rehearsal space. Yep. So we're like, well, we better get this soon, you know, and we got it in the very first take, and everything that you hear on there, the whole drum track, nothing's manipulated or anything. And a lot of the actual live guitar tracks are on that solo and everything too. So it just kind of shows that like sometimes the magic in the room is just as powerful, you know?
That's wicked. So, I mean, when you first started working with Frank, was it intimidating at all?
Definitely. I think it was nerve-wracking at first, but I realized that he was such a down-to-earth person and just so like easygoing, and you know, not only helping me out with a lot of music stuff, but he did help me out with a lot of personal stuff in my life, and you know, I couldn't thank him enough for that. You know, he just helped me through a lot of stuff, and you just realize that he's just a human too. You know, he's just super good at guitar. You know, it's like, and so, but it was definitely intimidating at first. But I think it was good. It was good to have that pressure because it makes you better as a guitar player, musician, and all around person.
That's cool. I had Jeff Carlson was on about a year ago, and he's a friend of Frank's, and he said to me that he goes, you go jam with Frank and he like remembers everything. He's like, he'll remember, like, it's unbelievable his knowledge of songs, that he remembers how to play on guitar. I'm the worst at it. It's like, oh, I got to go back and relearn that because I can't remember it. But apparently he like retains all this information.
Yeah, it's crazy because this whole past year I actually lived at his house because I was going through some personal stuff, and he offered me to stay at his place. And it was weird because when you're living with him and you're just, you know, sitting there eating food together, you forget how great of a guitar player he is. And then when you go to gym and pull it out, it's just like his knowledge and everything is just like on another level. His experience and everything just like takes over.
Yeah, I think it's awesome. Like there's been a few guys been on the show, a few bands that have worked with Frank, and it's amazing because you guys are all younger guys, and that was him back in, you know, the mid 80s. He was that, you know, like 19, 20 years old when they put out the first album. And I love the fact that he's giving it back. He's like, okay, I did this, and he's teaching guys, you know, the ropes and the business, as well as, you know, like producing and whatnot. I think that's amazing.
Yeah, because he was really he got a lot of help from Ronnie Montrose, and
yes.
So he would tell me he's got so many stories that he's shared with me that's helped me through times where, you know, you start doubting yourself and you start, you know, feeling that, you know, because the music business, he explained to me, is super tough, and you just got to keep going and keep your head down and keep grinding, and that's what we've been doing this past year, even through COVID. You know, we figured if we can do it through this time, we can do it through any time.
Yeah, no, that's amazing. So in April, you released a video for the song Waited So Long from the upcoming album as well. I guess, last week, Taken By Moonlight came out?
Yeah, I think it was 6 days ago now, and we released that on our own YouTube channel, JTLOUX, and it's been doing great. The Waited So Long video was such a fun thing. You know, I'm a big advocate for music videos that have more to do with like that has a storyline. I didn't want it to just be us playing the whole time, and there's no like, it didn't really mean anything. And so throughout that video, you'll see like different scenes that me and the director had put together, and all these little transitional cuts, and every little detail was worked out in that video. And so I think it turned out great. So
those videos look really good.
Yeah, if you guys want to go check it out, it's under Waited So Long, JT Loux.
Awesome. And now so I watched Waited So Long first, and then YouTube kept playing. I got kind of sidetracked, and I was doing so, and all of a sudden, this video comes on of yourself with Frank doing a rendition of the intro to Love Song. And you're doing that harmony part. And I was like, no way. I was like, that's so cool. Because that was one of the songs that for years I wanted to learn. So I learned that whole intro. I learned the whole song and the solo and everything because I love that song so much, right? What was that like? And how did that come about? Did Frank say to you, he's like, hey man, let's do a video on YouTube and I'll get you to play that harmony part at the intro?
Yeah, that was that little section of it was for a charity live stream for Guitarists for Vets and a couple different organizations. And I had gotten the chance to play a bunch of Tesla songs live with him and his Frank Hannon band.
That's so cool.
A couple times before COVID and everything. We played at the Whiskey A Go Go in Los Angeles, and Frank came out with a beer, so we had a huge beer party. Which was funny because I was like 19 and I was doing all this filming at this beer place, and it was really cool, that they would let me like try samples of Frank's beer, and I was like, I didn't tell anybody.
Well, I'll let you know this: if you ever come to Canada, at 20 years old, you can drink beer. You can drink as much beer as you want because our drinking age is 19.
19, wow, that's cool.
Yeah. Yeah,
that's awesome. Man. So,
yeah. But you probably don't have too long till you're 21. So, but it's all good. It's all good. Yeah, and in Quebec, it's 18.
Wow.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. So
cool. Yeah. So that he came out with a beer, and so I was able to play these Tesla songs and kind of like in front of like 500 to 1,000 people. It was pretty cool, but definitely nerve-wracking playing.
Yeah.
Playing the parts. I was playing all the Tommy parts.
Parts, yeah.
And, you mentioned Jeff Carlson. We had done a gig together with Jeff, and we'd done a whole set of Tesla songs like a year and a half ago at this private show. And so it started developing like that. We played some live shows. And then when it came time to do this charity stream, we did that Love Song intro, and he showed me like the little details that a lot of people miss in there. And so it's cool to sit down with the guy who actually wrote it to tell me that I'm playing it wrong,
Yeah, that's funny. That's cool. So learning the Tommy parts, did Frank help you with that? Like, or did you just kind of like Tommy's on the left side, I believe, and Frank's on the right? I think that's how it goes. When I saw them live, that's how it was.
Yeah, and actually the way they mixed the records is it was like that a lot of the time.
So it was easier.
What I would do is I'd take an earbud and I would take out the right one and I'd put only the left one in, and I could hear the parts a lot more clear. And I would try and learn them on my own as much as I could. And then Frank would be like, well, we were in Bearsville and I remember him doing this little detail here and this little detail here. So he would show me things that a lot of people don't know about it. And it was a really cool experience to be able to and it gave me such an appreciation for the song because you realize how much time they put into every single song.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of both of them, of their guitar playing, and I like Dave too. Dave does a great job. I saw Tesla in 1990 in Toronto with opening up for Motley Crue. And yeah, and so Tommy, I don't know if Frank told you this, Tommy and Frank used to do this like wicked ass guitar solo, and then I think Frank would kill Tommy at the end of it and he'd fall to the ground kind of thing. It was, you gotta ask him about it, man. How old was I? I was like 17 years old seeing that, and I was like way up high, and they were like this big. But just seeing them live was just like, it was unreal, man. It was so cool.
Yeah. So like you said, the live experience is such a cool there's nothing like it, you know. Like this whole past year, we had done a couple live streams, which were really cool. But we had last weekend we just played at the Dallas International Guitar Festival, and we got to play 3 days in a row. One in Ardmore, Oklahoma, at this place called Two Frogs, which is like a little famous bar. Great stage, great sound. And then we got to play 2 days in Dallas, and the live shows is just so insane. How it's like the best drug ever. It's crazy the feeling you get, and especially being deprived of it for a whole year. It felt really good to get out there and show everyone our songs.
That's awesome. So now there's another live video of the song "The Eagle." Is that?
Yeah.
And that Frank joins you guys. He's on stage with you, and he plays all the leads. It looks like, except for during the solo. I think you guys kind of both play together.
Yeah.
Is that a song from the album as well?
So that song was originally going to be on the album, but as we were developing our sound, we wanted to keep the theme similar, and I really love that song. So we decided to do a live take of it with Frank in it for another charity live stream, and we ended up putting it out recently, like 2 weeks ago, or whatever. And it's been getting good reception, and I think eventually we'll put that live track on Spotify itself because people really seem to like it a lot.
It's really good. It was really good. Yeah.
Thank you so much. Yeah. So we and that was Frank's idea. We had that song written, and he's like, "Hey, can I play guitar on your song?" Which I was like, "Whoa, that's backwards."
That's badass, man.
I should be asking you, you know. And so he was really eager to do something like that, and that was such a cool video because it was just like, it was in the middle of COVID. It was like in October or November, and with nothing going on, it was really cool to be able to do something like that, and to be able to do it for a live stream and charity was a really cool cause as well.
Yeah, it was amazing. It was really cool. It was cool to see Frank, and I'm like, oh, he's playing lead. This is great. So that was cool, and a great song. And I also noticed you guys, everybody in all three of you guys sing. Like the other guys sing good backups.
Yeah. So they had never actually sang prior to joining the band. So when we first started, we were doing 5 to 6 days a week, like vocals training, not necessarily like with a coach, because we would all get into a room and just work on our blending and stuff, and harmonizing and playing and just songwriting all the time. And I think that really helped us, and I think the whole thing, as sad as it was for the whole country and the whole world, I think it helped us because it gave us more time to develop our own originals and work on, like you said, the singing and stuff. Yeah. Because they had never sang in their life before, and neither did I. We were all hella new to it, so it was just a process, and it took this whole year just to be able to get to that point where we feel really confident in the songs and the live.
Frank, I mean, and a lot of people, I don't think they realize it. I was watching the newest Unplugged they did at Abbey Road, and I didn't even realize how much he sang. He's almost like he sings as much as Richie Sambora did with Bon Jovi. And he's unreal. Like, that's like one of his hidden talents. Like, people don't realize how good of a singer he is.
Yeah, he told me that he started singing way too late. He would sing backups in Tesla, but he wished that he had started to develop more of his lead voice earlier on. And he said to me, he told me a story about his father-in-law, who's Dickie Betts of the Allman Brothers.
Oh,
he told me that.
Wow.
Yeah, they're good acquaintances, and he said that Dickie told him a story one time in a hotel room about being, he said, I'm not a singer myself, Dickie said, and but I had a song, Ramblin' Man, and if I had let anybody else sing that song, I wouldn't be where I am today, and so Dickie doesn't see himself as a singer, but he said you just got to do it, and you just got to have the confidence, and he instilled that in Frank, 20 years ago, and Frank passed that information on to me in this past year and a half.
That's awesome. Now, I love the cover of the album, by the way. It's a picture of the band, I guess I don't know how you describe it. I was looking at it, I was like, okay, is it like a 70s thing? Is it Western? What the heck is it? Who came up with that concept? It's cool.
Yeah, so we had kind of gone back and forth with a bunch of different ideas. Frank's idea originally was to keep our faces on there. I had originally had like some other different cover art on there, but he had the idea of keeping our faces on there and marketing that, and which I think was a really good idea. And then we worked with this guy named Dwayne Surface. He's a artwork design guy that works with a lot of bands and everything, and he had the idea of like an Art Nouveau style. And if you look up Art Nouveau, it's like it's kind of got that same kind of vibe to it. And then I thought the idea of like those old wanted posters from the 1800s. Yeah. I like the aged kind of white,
distressed. Yeah.
Yeah. So, and I wanted it to look vintage, but also have like I wanted it to be familiar but unique and new. And so we ended up with that cover, and I couldn't be more happy with it.
Oh, it looks cool. And the t-shirts look cool too, with that on the t-shirts. It looks really cool. Because they look kind of vintage. It's like, oh, did you buy that in the 70s? Because that looks really cool.
Yeah, that's it, man.
That's wicked. Okay, so as we close out, I want to thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you.
I wish you the best of luck. Let's promote the crap out of this again and make sure everybody knows where to find you guys, find the band, and where they can get a hold of music, where they'll find the CD, all that stuff.
Yeah. So you can visit our website. We just launched it, jtloux.com. That's jtlux.com. That's got everything that you're going to need to find on there. You can also find us on Instagram at jtlux, jtlous again, on Facebook and Instagram. Like I said, our website is up. We're going to be doing more videos, more production and everything. And, if as things open up, if we're going to be doing some touring and coming to towns that are near you guys can just check out our website. It'll all be on there.
Awesome. Okay, man. Well, thank you. I wish you the best of luck. Hopefully, I will see you up here in Canada at some point, and I will buy you a beer.
Yeah, thanks, man. I'm excited. I definitely want to go to Canada. That sounds like such a fun time.
It is. You don't want to come in the winter, though.
No.
Yeah, don't let them make you come in the winter, because you won't. You'll have to bring a big coat and be a pair of boots and all that stuff, and hope you don't see snow.
Yeah.
You want to come in the summer. You want to come during from say April to October. That's the time you want to come to Canada.
Sweet. Yeah, I'll keep that in mind.
Okay, man. Well, you enjoy the rest of your day, and thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Have a good one.
Okay, JT. Best of luck, man. Take care.
Taken by moonlight, save it for tonight. When I see you, something don't seem right. Where's your appetite for my love?